everybody, it's Miranda Nahmias, and I'm here today with another Woahpreneur interview with my friend Kathy. She is amazing, and she's actually a client of mine. And I just love her spirit and her business, and she's
Aw.
just super cool. And so she is going to share a little bit about herself and her life and her business today, and I hope that you guys get some inspiration from it. So yay, Kathy, welcome. And so why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. The Woahpreneur. I love that. Sounds like the Fonz. Whoa. Buddy. I'd be dating myself. I'm Kathy Stowell. So I am the Mama Bliss and Biz coach over at Bliss Beyond Nap Time. And I'm also the founder of Mama Bliss Coaching School, which is a coaching training program for moms that's really mom-centric. So I train other moms to coach other moms towards deeper self-care, creativity, values, and simplicity. So they can work from home like I do, which is just the bomb. So yes, it's pretty lovely here. I live in Nelson, BC. I have 2 kids, and they both had their birthdays this week because it's mid-November at the time of this recording. And yes, we like to procreate on Valentine's Day.
That's awesome. I love it.
Probably too much information, but just so you know where my headspace is at right now.
Okay, so when I was listening or hearing about your story, you mentioned actually before you had your 2 girls, they're both girls,
actually,
right?
a boy and a girl.
Oh, a boy and a girl.
Okay. Yeah.
When you had your 2 children, you did some things to like get yourself ready to have kids, like some alternative health things.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about like the acupuncture that you did as well as the throat chakra?
Yeah. I was telling you really quick. Well, I met my husband, and it was backstory. I was single throughout my whole 20s. And then I turned 29. I'm like, I better find my soulmate like today because I want to hang with him before we start having kids. So I'm really good at manifesting things. So I manifested him, recognized him right away because I was asking the universe for this hybrid of Christopher Atkins and Gene Wilder, like Willy Wonka. So there he was, and I'm like, that's him. So instantly, it was quite intentional, just knowing that we wanted to have kids within a couple of years, but I really wanted to do a deep cleanse, like a physical cleanse, just release toxins, but also like ancestry stuff. Like my father and I had this really weird relationship and weird dynamic, and it kind of exploded on actually my wedding day. It was actually quite it was really bizarre. And so after that, I was just like, whoa, I need to address this. So at the time, my husband had benefits and acupuncture was getting covered. So I went in there, and it was just the wildest experience. The guy, he was this like really tall, beautiful Indian man with these like eyes, and he's like, you liked horses as a little girl. And I'm like, yeah. He's saying all these weird things. And then the final thing he said is like, tell me about the relationship with your father. Like I didn't even say anything to him. As soon as he said that, I started bawling my eyes off. And I started telling the story about what happened at my wedding. And next thing you know, I'm lying horizontal, and I have about 100 needles in me. I didn't even like notice. And he just left me in a room alone to cry, and I could feel like waves, electrical currents. So afterwards, he says, you have some energy blockage in the throat area. So that's the throat chakra, like all these different energy centers in your body. And so that usually relates with expressing yourself. You're not expressing what you need to do. So he said, in order to address this, of course, come back next week. And I'd like you to do some kind of creative play every day. So I think that was around the time I discovered the artist's way. this awesome book, and I still hold on to some of the tenets. And my favorite one is like, take yourself on an artist date. So that was pretty much the first thing I did.
I like that.
You know, like go into an art supply store and just like grab things and go home. And what else did I do? I asked my mother-in-law to teach me to knit, and I just really finally went with it, painting, and it just was just a snowball effect. I turned into this crazy crafty monster, that basically led me to my blog, which basically led me to what I'm doing today.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a really exciting creative journey.
Oh my God, there's so much more to it, but yeah, I could go on and on.
What's your favorite what's your favorite creative play activity?
Well, these days, I'm looking at it right now. Nerd alert. Brace yourself. I don't know if this counts, but it's my new thing, and I'm into jigsaw puzzles, like kind of embarrassing.
Oh man, I love puzzles.
I know. And I'm like the only one in my family. Like we would go on a weekend family getaway, and I would bring my puzzle, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" But now my favorite thing to do is work on a puzzle and listen to like e-courses, and I'm doing a creative
that's
live
a
one
good
right
thing
now.
to do at the same time.
Yeah, I alternate between that and The Bachelorette. Yes.
Oh my God, love.
So besides that, though, I love sewing. I still sew quite often. And yeah, those are my top two right now.
Great.
And my blog, of course. Like my business is such a creative outlet. It's like I keep having all
really
these ideas. And yeah, so that's a huge part of my creative outlet these days.
Yeah, so talk about how like kind of that journey that you went through from like this creative play to starting the blog, and now you have like this successful business in this coaching school, and like just tell us about how you took that journey.
Totally. Okay, so when our firstborn was about a year old, we finally took the plunge and moved from our hometown to the boonies, which is 8 hours away from any major center. We purchased some land, and we had this mission. It's kind of like our second date talk. It's like, what's your dream? I want to have a hobby farm one day. So we're both keen on it. And so the blog, as I was saying, is a way to kind of share the creative outlet stuff, but then it was also documenting our kind of permaculture attempts in farming, and also homeschooling. I was actually homeschooling my daughter for a few years, and I started connecting with these women all over the world, like back when my daughter was a baby, and some of us are still real good friends. It's really wild. And my daughter, by the way, just turned 13 on Tuesday. So I've been blogging for a long time. And so to help us earn income, because where we live there's no like booming industry that's like legal. It's just like everyone has to get like really kind of creative. So so I was like, how can I monetize my online time and this stuff, and also my creative? I was really into spinning art yarn then, so I opened up an Etsy shop, and I was selling my creative wares, stuff I was sewing and spinning. And I decided just to scale to offer an e-course for moms who want to sew, who live in the backwoods and who have little rugrats around and are finding it hard to find the time. Yes. And so I called it Backwoods Mama Sew Camp. And it was so much fun. So the patterns were downloaded, and then each week we would work as a team together, and I would give all these video instructions on how to do it. And the whole premise of it was let go of the perfection piece, because I grew up with a mother as a seamstress, and I kept asking her, teach me to sew. And my mom's so funny. She's from Peru. So whenever I imitate her, I sound like an angry pirate, but it's just my Spanish accent. She's like, so I would be sewing, and she's like, you need to read these out. It's not perfect, So I always I grew up thinking, I'm just not the personality to sew, because I don't care if it's perfect, so I might as well not even bother. But after having kids, I had this really like fire in me to make my own clothes. I don't know. So the premise was you could do this, and I was showing shortcuts, and my whole approach to doing anything with kids around is like even just like 5-minute chunks here and there,
Yeah.
good from far but far from good, so what, and so I really enjoyed, well, first of all, making income. That was kind of cool without leaving my home. But I also really enjoyed getting to connect more intimately with my blog followers,
Yeah.
because like they would like send me photos at the time. This is like a long time ago, them wearing their little like bloomers and pinafores, and it's like, aw. So I wanted to go deeper, and that's when I decided to get certified as a creativity coach and also a simplicity parenting coach, because I felt that the principles from that, it's a parenting philosophy, but I think it's more than that. It's more a life philosophy.
Mm.
Really afforded me the time and energy to do my thing while my kids did their thing, which is just
Yeah.
being kids without me like, hey guys, like, because I'm not that type of parent. And I got certified as a creativity coach, and then I created Mama Bliss Coaching, which took bits and pieces from simplicity and the creative process. And I started coaching again my readers and followers,
That's
and it goes
amazing.
on and on from there. And then they started saying, I want to do what you're doing. And that's when Mama Bliss Coaching School was founded.
I love that. And I like that you really did take all these aspects from like all the things that you've learned in the different parts of your life and put that into this like signature program that you have. And
Mm-hmm.
um it just sounds like it must be so effective. And I'd really like to hear like if you have any tips or suggestions on that perfection thing, because I feel like
Yeah.
everybody who owns a business probably at some point has suffered from that like perfectionist or like need to have that perfection, and it can be really like get you stuck. And so what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's very paralyzing. This is a huge piece of my creativity coaching training. Like that is like the ultimate creative block. It's so funny. Like I don't consider myself a perfectionist, but in some respects I am. Like like wiping the counter. Like my husband, he tries. It's so cute. He takes his man hand and the rag. He's like, "Ugh." I'm like, I'll do it. So in some respects I am,
Yeah.
but in some respects I am totally not. And it's so anyways, the big beautiful romantic entryway or foray into me for embracing my imperfections, this is going to be like super corny, brace yourself again. When my husband and I first started dating, he's so cute. He's a very linear engineer, and he kind of talks like a robot, and but he would leave me all these poems, like when
Oh.
before he go to work. And one of the poems he wrote, we discovered together the concept of wabi sabi. It's this Japanese philosophy of seeing the beauty of imperfections. So the
Oh.
image is like a chip bowl. I thought I had my favorite cup here. My favorite cup has a chip on the lip. When it first
Oh.
happened, I'm like, my favorite cup. But now it's actually kind of, I like actually putting my lip on the chip. It's just like, it makes it more special. So he wrote a poem for me one day called Wabi Kathy, kind of like Wabi Sabi, but Wabi
Yeah.
Kathy, and just it was really cute. And it was just saying he loves my imperfections, and
That's so
so that
sweet.
was just such a great reminder for me that just embracing it, and and celebrating it, and in terms of making steps towards your business goals, is just like a favorite tool in the creativity coaching is, can you swear in this show?
Yeah.
Is doing the shitty first draft.
Yeah.
And I've written a whole website in one crappy first draft, and I sold that business, and it still stands today. And I'm like, whoa, they kept that, huh? It's just like interesting. But sometimes the muse inspires, and you just have to break the seal of getting the flow going. So I often coach my clients is, just put it out there, especially
Yes.
online. You can always go back and fix it. Any course, get it up
Oh
there.
my
You can always go
gosh.
back in and tweak it. The important thing is just to ship it, because you can go crazy just trying to perfect things.
You're
Yeah.
speaking my language. I am constantly telling my students, like, just do it.
Yeah. Yep.
You can always go back and make it perfect later.
Exactly. And then it's also the imperfection piece. It really makes you relatable, makes you more endearing,
Yeah.
as long as you stay professional about it. And there's ways that you can like kind of, get a second pair of eyes just to make sure there's no glaring typos. But
Yeah.
yeah, as I say to my kids, like whatevs. It drives them crazy. It's this new kick on I don't complete words and they're going. They're starting to eye roll. My daughter, she turned 13, so now she's
Oh,
starting to
yep,
do that.
that's the age.
I read somewhere it's because they're massaging their developing cerebral cortex.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all of your story, and it's all of this is very inspiring to like go out there and just do that. I want to do creative play now. Like I want to go and like paint or something. So,
Oh yeah.
talking with you is very inspiring, and I love the whole story of your business and how you're doing the Mama Bliss coaching now, and that's so amazing. So I'll be sharing the links to your website and your coaching school
Oh,
with
thank you.
this video, and just thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. This was so much fun.
Awesome.